The Broken Wheel podcast is intended for adult audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Break the Wheel podcast. We're almost there for Turkey Day. Oh, I love Turkey Day. It's one of the few things I can eat with my Crohn's. But guys, before y'all get into Turkey Day, I didn't forget about you guys. I wanted to talk about something. I wanted to bring up something. Quiet here. All right. Now, first of all, I hope everyone is had a good weekend. Before we get into it, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give my condolences to the family of Mr. Frank Jacob. For those of you who don't know, Mr. Jacob was a gentleman who lived in my old neighborhood. And if you don't, a lot of you don't know this, but I live around the block from where I grew up. I'd ride my bike and I'd talk to Mr. Frank. And Mr. Frank was a nice guy and he'd just walk. He was 88 years old. He'd walk around our neighborhood and whatnot. And we'd say hi to him and talk to him a little bit. He actually literally watched me grow up with some other people I know as we were kids. He was in that neighborhood longer than I have been or my family or anybody else for that matter. He was one of the first people. He was in there for a long time. I know that. Anyway, So, Mr. Frank Jacob passed away Friday evening. Car hit him walking. I spoke with him about 20 minutes before it happened. I was in my backyard, me and my wife were about to leave, and we spoke with him briefly, talked about the dogs and whatnot. He laughed and we joked, and so I wanted to give my condolences out there for Mr. Frank Jacob. Good man. So, with that out the way, so guys, I want to go over a few things on this podcast. As you can see, the podcast, I don't know if it's up there or not, but we're going to go over COVID-19 on this podcast. And there's a reason for it. There's been a lot of things in the media. A lot of things have been politicized during this year because of COVID-19. Now, before we get into it, I want to kind of get a background of kind of what I kind of know about COVID-19 in a way. I'm not a scientist or anything. I do know this. So I've followed this since last year. Even made the statement this was coming here. A lot of people didn't believe me. I actually bought masks and stuff for my company in preparation for this, and I was dead on. Saw the pandemic was coming. Started out of China, and then it went through the world, and then it finally came here. Kind of knew, I kind of figured that would be the case. The reason why I kind of have some expertise, a little bit of expertise on H1N1. Went to a couple I went to a national conference on that. Was kind of involved in that, so I kind of know. I've kind of been on the front line in a way with where I work. Being that said, there's a reason why I want to get into this today, because we're near the holidays, and of course on this podcast we love to break the wheel. So of course I want to freaking know. I want to know what's going on with this shit, because in my condition, in case if you don't know, if you ever watched podcasts, or I don't think I've ever said anything or any of my older podcasts or other names, I have Crohn's disease. With that, I kind of have to watch things. That's what my doctor tells me. I don't know how true that is, but whatever. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just get into it, okay? So, first of all, there are now 6 strains of SARS-CoV-2. That's what it's called, SARS-CoV-2. Okay, now SARS was the original deal that happened a couple years ago, during about 5-6 years ago, I believe. And, so the virus causing the COVID-19 pandemic, SARS-CoV-2, presents at least 6 strains. Despite its mutations, The virus shows little variability, and this is good news for the researchers working on a viable vaccine. So pretty much they have let's see, across Europe and Italy, the most widespread strain is G, while the L strain from Wuhan is gradually disappearing. So pretty much the reason why I kind of want to bring this up is that you're dealing with a bunch of strains, and if you don't understand why, it's very simple. Viruses use RNA to replicate, not DNA. RNA is very unstable, where DNA is not. DNA, like in your cells, when replicated another cell, it's an exact copy. There's hardly any mutations. Whereas RNA is very volatile and it mutates a lot. And as you can see with this, we have 6 strains of it. Now, the SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus is presumably already optimized to affect human beings, and this explains its low evolutionary change. Okay, so look, the point is we're dealing with a lot of strains here. Strains G and its related strains GR and GH are by far the most widespread, representing 74% of all gene sequences we analyzed. Okay, now, being all that said, okay, so we have all these cases, okay? So what I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering, I'm going to give you 2 points of view here. This is the first point of view. The first point of view from one side is saying that this has about 6 different mutations, it's widespread. The coronavirus map, North America, most widespread is GH. South America, find GR. In Asia, where the L strain was appeared, we see strains of G, GH, and GRs increasing. These strains landed in Asia only at the beginning of March. Okay, so globally, the strains G, GH, and GR are constantly increasing. Strain S can be found in the same restricted areas in the U.S. and Spain. The L and V strains are gradually disappearing. Okay, so besides these 6 main coronavirus strains, researchers identified some infrequent mutations that at the moment are not worrying but should nevertheless be monitored. They're less 1%. Again, this is showing one point of view. Okay, one point of view. This is one side. One side that this thing is a major issue, that you need to hunker down. You need to do all the stuff that they're saying on TV. Okay, one point of view. Now, here is another point of view. Now, why do I have this up, ladies and gentlemen? Why do you think I have this up? Well, we're going to do a little math here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring up a calculator on screen. I'm going to pull it up here. Let me, no, I don't want that. I want, hold on. Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. I want this. Okay, now, we're going to kind of make that a little smaller. We're going to do this to it, and we're going to bring this on here. All right, now, this is what I have here. We're gonna do this by the numbers. We're gonna do this by the numbers, okay? Here's the other point of view. Now, guys, in order to understand something, you must understand the points of view. You can't just decide that my side is always right, because that's what last podcast we talked about. That social media loves to influence everyone to be polarized and pick that my side is right routine instead of actually listening and looking at things. Now, we're going to do it by the numbers for a second. Now, in America right now, we have 12.4 million. So it's 12400. Wait. We're doing this wrong. Hold on. We have 257,000 deaths. Okay. Divided by the amount of people in America, or I would say the cases. Let's go by the cases first. We're gonna do 2 things, ladies and gentlemen. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna decide if you the death rate if you get it. Okay, that's the first thing. So the first thing, if you get it, 4,000,000 now equals. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you catch the coronavirus, as of right now in the United States, you have a 2%, 0.02, 2% chance of fatality if you catch it. If you catch it. Now, that's pretty, that's pretty low, That's in the United States. Now, let's look at worldwide. So let's clear this out. 2% chance. You have a 2% chance of death if you catch this thing. Okay, so let's look at worldwide cases. Worldwide cases. So we're going to 1.39 million. So it's 139,000 divided by 59,100,000. Okay? So again, if you look at the numbers, you have a 2.3% chance worldwide, 2.07% chance if you live in the United States. Okay? Now, a lot of people, ladies and gentlemen, use the total deal, like the total population deal. You have to use this method, okay, to get some accuracy. So again, by using the numbers here, and I'm showing it right here, if you're in the United States, you have a 2.07% chance of death. And if you're outside the United States, you have a 2.35% chance of death with COVID-19. Why do I bring this up? Why would I bring this other side up? Because a lot of people right now, ladies and gentlemen, this has become very polarized again with an beyond control. Again, you can blame social media for this. Internet tribalism. Now, internet tribalism is spilling into worldwide tribalism or real life tribalism. So it's sparring everywhere. Okay, you got people put on your face mask. Some people saying fuck you with your face mask. Okay, back and forth. Now, I'm going to show you why people are getting pissed off. Let's start there. Why are people getting pissed off? Because you have shit like this. If you don't know who this is my illustrious governor, Governor John Bel Edwards. He's the governor of Louisiana. He's at church. Look, he's at St. Julian Church, Catholic Church in Baton Rouge. I think in Baton Rouge. All right. What is this? Where's your fucking mask, asshole? Where's your mask, shithead? Where's your mask, bitch? Interesting. We're finding out, and we're seeing worldwide now, that political figures and people in upper government positions and people who are wealthy are deciding not to wear these masks. But yet, this is the same motherfucker who tells everyone, you got to be in phase 2, you got to wear your mask, you got to social distance. Don't even practice what he fucking preaches. Doesn't even practice what he preaches. He motherfucking went to church, and what did he do? He didn't wear a mask. In a picture with the priest. This son bitch he washes his hands in a little bowl, because I'm Catholic, I can say this shit, and he gives people bread. The body of Christ. Okay, if you don't know. So I want to know, does he sanitize his hands before he does it? Does he give it how's it go? How does communion go now? I don't know. I don't care. Point of the matter is, look how close they are. Okay? But this is the same son bitch that gets on the damn TV every day or on online, on Facebook, live, and tells everyone in Louisiana how they need to fucking live. Okay? This man does not practice what he preaches. Okay? That's part of being leader, ladies and gentlemen. You got to pull the sled. You don't crack the whip, you pull the sled. This motherfucker's cracking the whip. Let's continue. Now, why? This is a very good article. This was and I came across this, even though it's been written in July 11th. Oh my God, this is a great article. Why aren't more politicians wearing face masks? And it's still holding up today. You heard about Nancy Pelosi. She went get her fucking hair done The governor of California, they're like actually at his doorstep protesting because the motherfucker didn't do it somewhere. You know, look at this. Look right here. The prime minister, Tony Blair. Is it? No. The prime, I don't know what his fucking name is. Look, the prime minister, they went to a pizza place and they didn't they didn't cover up. Which, look, is fine. I mean, look, if they don't believe in it, then you know what? You should come out and say it instead of just sitting there and saying, oh, I'm not going to do this or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They want to be recognized and also want to be seen as communicating with the public. Oh, I see how it is. Yeah, I see how it is. So now you have this guy, you got other people wearing it, Again, this is showing how political this is getting. Each side, the main side not wearing the shit. Even President Trump was making fun of it at one time. You have the other side wearing this. I mean, and again, nobody knows. Let me ask y'all something. When you watch this, ask yourself this. Why are these politicians doing this? What is COVID-19 that deadly? Is it? We don't know. I had a conversation with a healthcare individual. I'm not gonna say what type of person he was or whatnot to protect their identity, but I was told pretty much that they are trying to get information from their colleagues, and whatever political side their colleagues follow is what type of information this guy gets. So, ladies and gentlemen, we can't get any fucking real information about this shit because everybody's making it fucking political, and it might not be political. Okay? All I know is the numbers. Again, we go to the numbers, and I showed you earlier, literally, if you catch it, you have a 2% chance of dying. Literally. Okay? Now, I'm willing to bet if I look up, and I'm going to look it up here. Let's see. Chance of death from common ailments. That's what we're going to do. Okay? We're gonna pull that up right now. Okay, look. So, here's the common, here we go. Leading cause of deaths from the CDC, okay? So, heart disease, cancer, accidents, chronic lower respiratory. That's an interesting one. Chronic lower respiratory diseases. Pneumonia. Guys, look at that. Pneumonia. And then you got stroke, Alzheimer's, diabetes. Now, the reason why I pull this up, I want you to see these up here. Take away, in fact, okay, add influenza and pneumonia, and you can add stroke, chronic lower respiratory diseases, cancer, and heart disease. And you can about bet that COVID-19 pretty much exacerbates, whatever the fuck you call it, exacerbates these types of things. They're probably hitting things these people had, a lot of them, that caused them to die while they had the COVID-19 virus. Yet no one's talking about that, which is interesting. So, just wanted to pull that up for a second. But why do I talk about the politicians? Face masks becoming a political symbol of the COVID-19 era. This is written in May of this year, Wisconsin State Journal. Okay? First of all, I don't want to see any shit. Go to the damn article. Wait, really? Answer. Okay, let's see. YouTube. Let's just do that and submit and shut the fuck up. I mean, goddamn. All right. Look, rally last month, many protesting against Democratic Governor Tony Evers' stay-at-home order. That's going on like crazy. People are protesting these stay-at-home orders. In fact, I need to add that to my deal. We're gonna go over that in a second. I was trying to get so much content. This is why I waited a day, and I didn't even have all the content. I was doing research, and I was tired. No excuses here. No excuses here on the Break the Wheel podcast. We got to do it, baby. We got to get going now. So you got a lot of people protesting these lockdowns, okay? Like, oh my God, like you have no idea how they're doing this, okay? They're protesting these lockdowns. People are not happy. They are not fucking happy with this, okay? Just not good, okay? Not good. So they had, in fact, I'm just gonna do this. Let's go over lockdown protests all over the world. Okay, look at that. Australia, Scotland, Melbourne. You got them everywhere. Look at this. COVID-19 arrested in Basildon. Germany anti-protest. That one was a big one. Look, Pope Francis, in new book, criticizes anti-lockdown Holy shit! Oh my God! Here we fucking go! The goddamn Pope getting his fucking ass in action. This motherfucking Pope. I tell you what. If there was a reason not to be Catholic, this motherfucker's it. This motherfucker's it. Look at this. Pope Francis criticizes the protests against coronavirus-related lockdown measures in the forthcoming book, while defending anti-racism protests and criticizing the toppling of statue. And, look, here's the deal. Here's the deal. This dude here, look. This is, first of all, I'm not Catholic anymore. Okay, I want to put that out there. This is the reason why is I have some issues with the church. Okay, I really do, with the way they do things. But this son of a bitch, if he flip-flops on everything. First, he didn't like gay marriage, like he likes gay marriage. Then he's criticizes the protest. Didn't it feel, I mean, it's just this guy, just horrible. But again, he has no business. As a religious figure, you need to shut your fucking mouth and worry about your fucking congregation. And shut your fucking mouth and stop writing fucking books. When you're not the Pope no more, then you can write a fucking book about when you were the Pope. But when you're the fucking Pope, you don't need to be writing fucking books. You need to be worried about your congregation. Okay? Just saying. Again, I mean, this fucking unreal. Look at that. The global rise of anti-lockdown protests. Guys, this is getting crazy. I'm not going to get more into this, but I'm telling y'all, do yourself a favor, look this up. I'm telling you guys, there are more and more happening every day. People are having enough. Now, this is where it gets interesting. This article was pretty interesting to me. U.S. divide on coronavirus masks. I'm going to go through this article. This was written by Brian Walsh, author of Future. Illustration by Sarah Grillo and Axos. This is a pretty cool. I guess All right. Mask wearing has become the latest partisan division in an increasingly politically divided pandemic. Polarized would be the right word for that. Why it matters. It's becoming increasingly clear that wearing even a basic cloth mask is one of the most effective ways to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Now, I'm not gonna either agree or disagree with that statement. Okay? I will state, however, that I am an expert in PPE protection. And I can say that statement may not be true. Okay? I will not get into that. I would say that another fabric may be better. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to get into it. But I'm going to say that this right here, and I'm going to get my take in a second. But let's just continue. But whether or not people are willing to wear one has less to do with the risk of the pandemic than their political affiliation. Now that, again, goes back to what I said about the individual in the healthcare industry that told me depending on what information they get, is dependent upon what political party the person is affiliated with. Okay? And it goes back to the polarization of the parties. It has to go back. It goes back to that. America is very polarized. We talked about last podcast. Just horrible. Just horrible. People can't get along. It's a bad thing. But let's go by the numbers. Results from months of the polls show a clear growing political divide between Democrats and Republicans on mask wearing habits. Nationally, the percentage of Democrats who reported wearing a mask all the time when leaving home rose from 49% to 65%. During the same time period, percentage of Republicans who constantly wearing from 29 to 35%. Okay. The thing, some of the blame. Okay, so they're saying and we're not going to get to all the other stuff with the governors and stuff. However, some of the blame for the divide can be traced back to muddled public health messaging on mask use in the early stages of the pandemic, when Americans were urged not to go out and buy masks in bulk because of concerns that there were not enough personal protective equipment for frontline healthcare workers. Okay, so being I'm an expert in personal protection equipment, let's see if anybody remembers this. When this happened, when the pandemic started, they were very specific that they didn't want anyone purchasing N95 masks. Why? Because N95 are one of the few is probably the few masks you can buy over the counter that will protect you against certain viral infections, because of the fact that it will filter 95% of the particulates in the air, and because it will filter very, very small particles. In fact, a lot of water-based droplet particles are very great at filtering that. In fact, in my industry, we use those heavily because of the fact that we use pesticides, and those particle sizes get very, very small, especially when you're spraying in the air. In fact, COVID size. And we want to make sure that we protect our lungs and whatnot. So when we talk about particle size, ladies and gentlemen, just know this. Your mask you're wearing, whatever the fuck you're wearing, unless it's N95 or higher or P100, you're not protecting yourself against shit, nor are you filtering as much as you think. Okay? And I'm going to be very real with that. Now, I got some slack on social media earlier during this pandemic because I made the statement, look, this everybody wearing masks and all these comparisons, look, mitigation's fine. You really want to knock this fucker out, give whoever wants to wear a mask, give them N95 if they're that afraid, and let the virus take its course, because not everybody's going to wear a mask. I was realistic, okay? Because I knew how polarized this fucking country was. However, I get shit on because I'm actually saying the truth, okay? Here's the deal. For those of you who want to try to shit on me one more fucking time, here's the fucking deal, okay? Not everyone's going to wear a mask. You're never, ever going to get 100% compliance unless it's a fucking fascist or communist regime that threatens you with fucking death. And that's the way we're fucking going, because both sides are either going through fascism or communism. Pick your pick. It doesn't matter. It's going that way, because here's the deal. Government has too much power. They want too much control. Now, being that said, why fault me for being realistic about the truth of it all? I'm being more realistic. I make the statement that, here we go, not everybody's going to wear masks, so how about we tell people who really want to feel protected, give them actual protection, both breathing in and out. And that way, everybody's happy. People who don't want to wear a mask don't have to wear a mask, and people who want to wear a mask can wear a mask and feel safe. So win-win. I think it's a great idea. Okay? Because here people are going to do what they want to do. Government needs to stop fucking controlling everything. I know it's a pandemic and shit, but let's be real. Let's be real for a second. You know, the pandemic is now being used for control. At first, it was this big ordeal, and it was scary. And I will admit, I was on that train because in my situation, there was a couple things involved. Number one, my health, because of I have a very rare disease. But number two, if this thing were to spread into the rodent population, because coronaviruses can be carried by mammals, depending on the mammal and the situation, and being I went through the H1N1 with, with the mosquitoes, rats carry the plague. This thing got in the rodent population for some reason, some way, somehow, we could have an issue. Okay, so, and I would be on the front line of that. So, there was an issue. In fact, I will go as far as saying this. The city of New Orleans was actually throwing bait down the drains. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you have to have an EPA regulate. You have to have pretty much EPA permission to do that shit. You can't just throw bait down the drain to kill the rats. That's how scared they were of this pandemic. So, will I say that maybe one of these strains was deadly? Absolutely. I'm not going to say that there's no coronavirus, okay? I'm not going to say that. However, what I am going to say, ladies and gentlemen, is very simple. Viruses mutate and they don't get as strong. And I think we're at that point now. But apparently, people are still afraid. They spread their fear on others. My advice to you, ladies and gentlemen, keep your fear to yourself, okay? You'll do the world a favor. Keep your fear to yourself. Keep your fears to yourself. This social media deal has made people feel like they have to tell everyone their feelings, and if it infringes on them, no, you're infringing. Just shut the fuck up. Wear your mask and shut the fuck up. If you feel that you're that scared, wear an N95 mask, okay? And be safe. And then you're good. I mean, it's a very simple concept, ladies and gentlemen. Just wear your own fucking mask. Protect yourself. Take care of yourself. Stop relying on everyone else to take care of you. You take care of yourself. Okay? Be self-reliant. Okay? Now, back to this. So, those fears were real. As government virus expert Fauci, I'm not even going to point to Fauci because at first he said that masks weren't. Fuck Fauci. We're not even going to speak of Fauci on here. As far as I'm concerned, he's discredited himself out of the picture. So, here's where it gets pretty interesting. Okay, because I am an open-minded individual. So I read this article because I wanted to know what was going on. So conservatives who pride individual autonomy over social responsibility experience a massive pushback of psychological resistance when presented mask mandates, says Stephen Taylor, the author of The Psychological Pandemic. So I am one of those people that believe that people should take care of themselves. So individual autonomy. I do prize that. Because we are not at the point yet where we can be social responsible. I am not going to be social responsible right now because 50% of the population, or over 50%, are not contributing back to the whole. Okay? They're leeches, in my opinion. So, if that's the case, why am I going to contribute to something that just sucks the life out of everything? I'm sorry, but we need to be self-sufficient. That's my deal. Okay, be self-sufficient. Don't be dependent on the government. Sorry. Dependence on the government means control. If you haven't figured that out yet, figure it out very quickly because I'm going to get into some shit. Okay? And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is just to show both sides. The other side's pretty straightforward. Wear your mask. Pandemic's going to kill you. Live in fear. That's that side, okay? They are fearful of some massive thing that can happen, okay? I personally, think it should just run its course. I don't know if it's about herd immunity or anything. I think sometimes, even though this is probably man-made, as it's been kind of proven, that maybe God works in mysterious ways. The Heavenly Father, the Supreme Being, whatever you want to call them. And I think that maybe this is a wake-up call for us. That's personally what I think. Now, That reaction is reinforced if leaders like Trump downplay the significance of COVID-19 or if they don't wear a mask, says Taylor. As a result, wearing a mask in conservative communities means visibly going against public opinion. Well, the opposite is true in communities where mask use is common. Okay? So the data of this thing reflects this reality, showing that while Republicans in blue states use masks less than Democrats, they wear them at higher rates than Republicans in red states. Just as Democrats in red states use masks at lower rates than Democrats in blue states. Blah, blah, blah. One factor that seems capable of breaking the political deadlock is the outbreak itself. As cases have skyrocketed in red states like Arizona recently, there's been a significant increase in Google searches for masks. Okay, whatever. Now, the point being in all this is that this was interesting because, it's showing the divide between Republican and Democrat when it comes to these masks and how to I guess, treat a pandemic. Now, you want to know why people don't trust the government? You're about to find out right now. You're about to figure it out. You're about to find out because I'm gonna. This is where I go down the rabbit hole. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, because in order to break the wheel, you have to go down the rabbit hole to see what it contains. Okay? This is very important. What I'm about to show you, the next few slides are very important because there is a bigger picture in all this, whether you want to believe it or not. Breaking the wheel is both sides. And it's amazing how both sides, we're being played right now, ladies and gentlemen. If you believe that your party is fighting for rights or whatever, you're fucking insane. Okay, you're just insane. These parties, this is a show, ladies and gentlemen. This is a show for what I'm about to show you. This is a show. This is a fight. Okay, the reason why is because of this. Let's start with this first. Interim operational considerations for implementing the shielding approach to prevent COVID-19 infections in humanitarian settings. Okay, so you might wonder, what the fuck is this? What does this mean? What does this mean, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I'm about to tell you. This document presents considerations from the perspective of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, for implementing and the shielding approach in humanitarian settings as outlined in guidance documents focused on camps, displaced populations, and low-resource settings. This approach has never been documented and has raised questions and concerns among humanitarian partners who support response activities in these settings. The purpose of this document is to highlight potential implementation challenges of the shielding approach from CDC's perspective and guide thinking around implementation in the absence of empirical data. Considerations are based on current evidence known about the transmission and severity of coronavirus disease 2019, COVID-19, and may need to be revised as more information becomes available. Please check the CDC website periodically for updates. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is very, very, very interesting. You're going to see why in a second. What is the shielding approach? The shielding approach aims to reduce the number of severe COVID-19 cases by limiting contact between individuals at higher risk of developing severe disease, high risk, and the general population, low risk. High-risk individuals would be temporarily relocated to safe or green zones established at the household, neighborhood, camp sector, or community level depending on the context and setting. They would have minimal contact with family members and other low-risk residents. Now, very interesting. What is high-risk people? Am I high risk because I have Crohn's disease? Am I high risk because I have a flare-up or whatever? Are the elderly high risk? Or children, small children high risk? Raises a question, who is high risk and who isn't? Okay, so current evidence indicates that older adults and people of any age who have serious underlying medical conditions are at higher risk for severe illness for COVID-19. In most humanitarian settings, Older population groups make up a small percentage of the total population. For this reason, the shielding approach suggests physically separating high-risk individuals from the general population to prioritize the use of the limited available resources and avoid implementing long-term containment measures among the general population. Makes you wonder, huh? Get rid of the sick ones, huh? In theory, shielding may serve its objective to protect high-risk populations from disease and health. However, implementation of the approach necessitates strict adherence to protocol. Inadvertent introduction of the virus into a green zone may result in rapid transmission among the most vulnerable populations the approach is trying to protect. Ladies and gentlemen, to me, I smell some bullshit in there. To me, it's almost like they want to round up the sick ones, put them in there, let the shit get contaminated, and get rid of them. That's what it seems like to me. I'm sorry. A little bullshit there. Sorry. Table 1 of the shielding approach. All right. Specific room area designated for high-risk individuals who are physically isolated from other HH members. Low-risk HH members should not enter the green zone. I might use this for my advantage. I might have to make my green zone in here and put a fridge and a bed in there. So when people want to fuck with me, no, can't come in. Green zone. Movement interactions. Low-risk HH members should not enter the green zone. If entry is necessary, it should be done only by healthy individuals after washing hands and using face coverings. Interactions should be at a safe distance, approximately 2 meters. Minimum movement of high-risk individuals outside the green zone. Low risk, continue to follow social distancing and hygiene practicing outside the house. So neighborhood level. So designate shelter group of shelters, max 5 to 10 households within a small camper area where high-risk members are grouped together. Neighborhood swap households that accommodate high-risk individuals. Jesus Christ. Really? This is on the CDC website. Camp sector. This is where it's going to get real, ladies and gentlemen. This is really what's going to happen here, in my opinion. Okay, so camp and sector level. Group of shelters such as schools, community buildings within a camp sector. Walmarts. Close down Walmarts. We already have places set up in Louisiana. State parks. Max 50 high-risk individuals per single green zone where high-risk individuals are physically isolated together. Excuse me, I'm yawning again. One entry point is used to exchange for food, supplies, etc. A meeting area is used for residents and visitors to interact while practicing physical distances. No movement into or outside the green zone. Imagine a fence. You ever seen Red Dawn? If you've seen the original Red Dawn, when the brothers go see their dad at the drive-in, they have 2 fences and they're talking through the fence. That's what you're going to have? Or like prison. Glass, whatever. Okay, so so each green zone has dedicated latrine bathing facility. Okay. Excuse me, guys. Able-bodied, capable of caring for residents. So another thing is you're going to have high-risk people who's going to care for other people. Okay. Let's see. So monitor. This is men and women. Okay. Severe immunodeficiencies. Men and women and individuals with tuberculosis, TB, severe immunodeficiency, or dementia should be isolated separately. I'm fucked. Jesus. The fact that I know they have to go through this shit, but this is like timeline considerations. Let's see. Okay, so pretty much, guys, they're talking. This shit is this shit's kind of real. This is scary shit. This is what scares me even more. The Great Reset. Now, I've heard the Great Reset. I've heard this term the past couple years. The Great Reset. Okay? You might be wondering, what the fuck is the Great Reset? Now, in this podcast, this is just an introduction. We're going to have a full podcast on the Great Reset. I'm letting you know. Like, guys, okay? I'm telling you guys, the Great Reset, we have to go down this rabbit hole. We are going to go down this rabbit hole. Not tonight, okay? I'm just going to give you a general synopsis of what the Great Reset is. It's pretty much they have a bunch of world leaders that are orchestrating a pandemic to take control of the global economy. That's what it is. You got a bunch of people talking about this. Alex Jones. I've heard this on Fox News. I've heard of this term, the Great Reset. Okay. Look, Great Reset equals New World Order. A lot of people talked about the New World Order. In fact, I have a colleague. I will say a colleague, someone who, on his show, I debated him about a New World Order, and now he's saying, "Oh, fuck that." I think he's, guys, this George Herbert Walker Bush talked about a New World Order in one of his speeches. Okay, the idea of a New World Order, world government, and whatever. Some of you like that idea. I personally think it's fucked up, and this is kind of the fight they call globalists. The people who want globalization. Globalization is inevitable. However, the way we globalize is going to be what defies us. It's either gonna make us very strong on a planetary level, or we're just gonna go down to some dystopian fucking nightmare. And that's pretty much what we're at right now. There's so many times, guys, when people say conspiracy theorists and whatnot, but then when you find out some of this shit's actually fucking true, you have to even now you have to consider this kind of shit, okay? Because let me ask you this. I'm just gonna ask these questions. We had H1N1, just as deadly, actually spread by mosquitoes. Okay, should be wiping us the fuck out. I went to the conference. You don't hear about H1N1 anymore. What happened to SARS? What happened to SARS? The first coronavirus. What happened to SARS under the Obama administration? Didn't really hear about that either, right? All of a sudden, this comes out from Wuhan, which in Wuhan, there is a government lab there, bioengineering lab. At what point in time do you have to think about maybe this shit's real? Maybe there is, and look, I don't think it's this whole like over the top conspiracy like fucking Alex Jones talks about, but I'll say this. There is something that, to me, I think it's opportunity. I think it's more of, we got an opportunity here. We can do some real fucking shit here. We can really get it to where we want it. That's what I think's going on. That's personally what I think. I think this mask mandate, until the problem is the parties are too polarized to figure out what the really facts are. You have just as many doctors saying not to wear the mask and to wear the mask, okay? And my question is, you had all those doctors out in front of the Supreme Court, and yet all those guys were discounted. They're talking about whatever trials or whatever. My point is, why are we so, the cancel culture is just amazing. Like, to me, I would want to hear any and everything, and then maybe get a consensus and get these doctors together and show their data. But no, alas, no, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the Great Reset. And look, I'm going to end with this. Look, there's a forum. Look at this shit. This is why, look at this. Look at this. weforum.org, World Economic Forum. Okay, they talk about that this is a conspiracy theory, right? But if it's such a fucking conspiracy theory, why is there a fucking website for it? Look at this. Look at this. Look, they even had a fucking assembly for the shit. Look, they have uplinks. They got partners. You know, I mean, guys, look at this shit. Look at this shit. It's a whole deal for it. Like, guys, look, all I'm going to say, look, these guys are big money. I mean, it's right in front of you. You know, now look, they have some good shit on here. Look, they turn in face, you know, plastic bottles into face shields. That's fucking awesome. That's a good idea. Why preventing the pandemic would have been cheaper fighting it, okay? But again, let me ask you this. Is this propaganda or what? I mean, we don't know. We don't fucking know. That's the problem, guys. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. So guys, it's always good to have these discussions, okay? I want y'all to have a really, really good Thanksgiving. You know, be with your loved ones. You know, be safe. But at the same time, guys, don't be a shit.